How are you today? My name is Julian Andres Uni. Today we are going to have the topic's explanation in this synchronous session for the course Basic English 2. Um, all right, let's start. This is the topics that we are going to have today. First, a short reminder of the course introduction. Then we have the model content. This is grammar review for the model 1. And at the end, we are going to have model 1 tasks and the final comments. So, right, to start, we have the course introduction. Remember that our course is composed by 6 activities in total, 3 learning activities and 3 assessment activities. At the end, we are going to remind a little bit the difference between learning activities and assessment activities. Over here. So we have countable and uncountable nouns. We are going to start already with the topic's explanation. For Magali, if you in any moment need clarification or to repeat something, just let me know, please. So we have countable and uncountable nouns. Remember that those are words that refer to people, animals, places, things, or ideas that can be counted using numbers. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, counting using numbers. Those that are non-countable, non-count, or uncountable nouns are the ones that you cannot count. You cannot use numbers, but instead you have to use a measure. Yeah? Uno se puede contar con números y no contable toca acudir a medidas, right? So we have, for example, these ones in singular cake and cakes. You can have one cake or two cakes and things like that. We have the irregular, for example, fish, that is in singular, one fish or two fish, that is plural also. You in fish specifically, you can have fishes. Now, with child, child is only one child. And with the plural form, we have children, two children and more. So you can have a full list of irregular nouns on the internet or look for our material in the course. Then the uncountables, for example, we have cheese, water, and bread. In English, the bread is non-countable, it's a non-countable noun, right? Let's continue with quantifiers. Quantifiers, we use them to give information about the quantity of something, you know? For example, you can say much, a little, yeah, more. Those are quantifiers, those words that help us to give a little more information about the quantity. It could be few quantity, small quantity, or large quantity, yeah? So depending on if they are countable or uncountable, and in this case for both, we are going to use the next one. In the case of countable, we use many, few, few or very few, a number, a number of apples, for example, several, a large number, a great number, a majority of. Also, we have for the uncountable, we have much, a little, little or very little. You can have of also a bit of, a great deal of, a large amount of, a large quantity of. We also have countable and uncountable nouns. We use them in both. For example, all, enough, more, less, some, any, and a lot. That are the ones that you can use. We also have the topic containers. Containers is something that we use to hold something, you know. For example, this box is a container and it is holding a cat. We have bag, basket, bottle, box, can, bowl, bucket, carton, cup, jar, jug, pack. And we can have more, yeah, but those are like mainly the ones that we have. We are going to talk about a lot in this course, a lot of about food. We have, for example, these examples of quantifiers and containers and how you can use or write or express a full sentence using quantities, quantifiers, and containers. Yes. In this case, talking about food, for example, you can say there are many apples in the basket. There is much water in the pot. There are few candies, pardon, there are few candy bars on the box. There is little mix in the carton. We need a few apples. We need a little salt. Um, we can eat any types of cookies. We can buy any cake and things like that. All right. Next topic is indications. Indications are used to tell the location of a place. For example, the hospital is at the corner. The church is on the NQS Avenue. The bank is in the mall. So we use at, on, and in. There are these prepositions of place, um, depending on the detail that you have, the detail that you may have. For example, you use at with a place as a point of reference. You need a reference to mention where is the other place located in reference to that other. We also use on to specify the street, the address where the place is located. But we need like the street to see to mention where is it located. We use in to indicate that a place is contained within another place. For example, you can say in a city, yes, because the city is containing the place. Right, let's continue with directions. Are the instructions used to a person how to get to a place? When giving directions, we use the imperatives. An imperative is the base form of a verb used to tell instructions. For example, cross, cross the park, cross the street. Yeah. The usual one, go straight ahead, turn right, turn left, go past. In the next topic, we have equatives. Equatives are structures used to compare two things that are equal in quantity in the quality that you are describing. For example, you are describing these two guys. He is the son and he's the father. And you can say, in terms of height, Dan is as tall as his father. So we have this structure as plus the adjective plus another as. Yeah, another word as. Dan is as tall as his father. Dan's cat has eyes as blue as sapphires. My sister's hair is as long as mine. So you can use this to say this is the same like this, yeah, in this structure. We also use the equatives to compare things in the things that they are not equal. Yes, in the negative form, we use it like mention it. They are not equal in this quality. For example, Tunja isn't hot, Cali is hot. You can say Tunja isn't as hot as Cali, and you can say is. Or this soup isn't as spicy as the soup I have at home. Or she's not as tall as the other students. Yes, you can say, you can use this not, and not to give the comparison between those two in the terms that they are not equal. Now we're going to move to future simple forms. We have two forms of future. The first one is using will, that is the auxiliary for future. And we have this be going to, that is a present form in terms of grammar, but with the intention of mentioning something to the future. For example, a plan. Yes, you're planning to go to the movies on weekend. Yes, I'm going to the movies on weekend. Yeah, so that is your plan, not for now, but for a moment in the future. So according to the simple future simple, the use that we can have is we use will to express a voluntary action. Also, you use will to express a promise, and we use to express a spontaneous decision. Yes, and an action that it is decided at the moment of speaking. Yeah, for example, the telephone is ringing, and you say, "I will answer." Yeah, because it's something spontaneous at that moment. We have these other examples over here. I will make some sandwiches. Yes, it's an expression of a voluntary action. I promise I will not tell him about the surprise party. Those are like the examples in there. We also use the form will to request help or offer help. Will you please help me to do my homework? That is requesting help. Or you can say, I will help you, and that is offering help. We use will with words and expressions like probably, possibly, perhaps, I'm sure, I expect. Those expressions help us to make emphasis and special emphasis on that future action. I will probably get there by car. So you have subject, will, and this expression. Um, we use will when the main verb is be, even if we talk about the plan events. So for the next rule, for the next topic that we're going to see be going to, we don't use with the verb be. Now, we use be going to talk about prior plans or strong intentions or fixed directions. Yes, because we have seen a plan. We have just thought about it. So the difference in here is that with be going to, at least you have a plan. Sí, al menos con be going to hemos pensado en el plan. Con will es un poco más como de momento, sí, como un poco más impredecible. En cambio, este sí lleva como su plan. I am going to buy a new car the next year. We use both will and be going to predict future events. Se pueden predecir eventos with both. The weather is tomorrow will be sunny, or you are going to be a famous artist. We use be going to, not will, to make predictions about events when there is a concrete evidence. For example, look at those dark clouds in the sky. It's going to rain soon. For example, we have this evidence that something is going to happen soon, and you use be going to. All right, let's have some time expressions. Time expressions to make an special emphasis on future. Like the most common, tomorrow. I'll go to the market tomorrow. We also have soon. Don't worry, he will soon be here. We have, for example, next. next whatever, next minute, next hour, next month, next day, yes, something in the future. There will be another meeting next month, and in a lapse, yeah, in 5 minutes, in 2 hours, in I don't know, in one day. So in that, when you're using that lapse, that is the use of future. Later today, I will finish my report later today. These conditionals. Conditional sentence expresses a condition. Yeah, don't just say. Expresses a condition that something can only happen if something else occurs. La clave aquí está en este if, ¿listo? Nos traduce sí al español, pero no sí de afirmación. Sí de afirmación es sí. Y esto es yes. Yes, yes, claro que yes. Y este if es sí. Si nos dejan, ¿listo? All right. Conditions are associated to consequences. ¿Listo? Vamos a ver. Tenemos cuatro tipos de condiciones. In here we're going to check only two. The zero conditional and the first condition. The zero conditional is used when we want to talk about facts or things that are generally true. So in zero conditional, they are always conditions like true. For example, if you heat water, it boils. Yes. Or when you heat ice, it melts. Or if she doesn't eat, she gets sick. So look at the structure that we have in here. We use the word that indicates the condition, if or when, plus the subject plus verb in present, and subject plus verb in present. Look at the comma. It is mandatory to use the comma in the middle of both clauses, condition clauses and result clause. If you have the negative form, just add the negation before the verb. And the next conditional is the first conditional. So we had zero conditional and now we have first conditional. We use the first conditional to refer to present situations that have a consequence in the future. Yes. So in the zero conditional, we have present, condition in present, and result in present. Now we have condition in present and result in the future. So let's look at the example. If you go to the gym, you will lose weight. If you go to the gym, you will lose weight. So you have to use the simple future over here. Over there, this second example, if she doesn't study present, she won't pass the exam. So the same structure, you need to use the comma in the middle. Of course, you can change the position of the clauses. You can say she won't pass the test if she doesn't study. Only in that case, if you don't start with the condition, you are not writing the comma in the middle. All right, let's continue. Past tense. So we had already the future tenses. Now we're going to look a little bit about the past tense. We need to like kind of have the differentiation in the verb to be because it is like irregular and the simple past. Yes. With the verb to be in past, we can say descriptions about the past, descriptions. And with the rest of the verbs, you can say actions that finished or were completed in a specific moment in the past. Let's have a look in detail of the verb to be. Was your sister on the beach last vacation? So you have the conjugation was. And the answer in here will be yes, she was. because it is for the third person. We're going to check in a moment. Were the children in the park yesterday? So we have were, that is the second conjugation of the verb to be in past for this plural, the children. You can say, no, they weren't. Um, we have the simple past tense and these expressions, time expressions that help us to make emphasis on the past. Of course, the most evident is yesterday. When you say yesterday, it's because you're referring to something in the past. You can say also last night, last week, last month, last year. And now we are going to check the structure. Listo. Simple past tense. Um, para poder hacer uso de este tiempo necesitamos saber cuáles son los verbos regulares y cuáles son los irregulares. ¿Cómo sabemos? Nos tenemos que aprender de memoria los irregulares, ¿sí? Acuérdense por allá en el colegio nos ponían a aprendernos una lista larga con 3 columnas o 4 columnas de verbos. Listo. Esta es la primera, la segunda columna, ¿sí? O sea, está en forma base, luego está en pasado simple, que es esta. Todos los que no estén en esa lista de irregulares van a ser regulares. Para conjugar en pasado, simplemente agregamos ed al final del verbo. ¿Listo? Played, loved, cooked, enjoyed, fainted. Si ya tiene una e, por ejemplo, love, solamente le vamos a agregar la d. Listo. But for the irregulars, we have two types. One that changes the way in past completely, and the second that doesn't change. Entonces, en una cambia para los irregulares y en la otra queda exactamente igual. Entonces, en los que cambian tenemos become, became, understand, understood, sit, sat, have, had, ¿sí? Y por los que no cambian, pues tenemos could, cast, perdón, cut, cast, hit, and let. Así, pero esos son unos ejemplos nomás. ¿Listo? Now, the structure that we have. He worked there for 10 years. That is regular because you have ed. Subject, action in past, in conjugation past, and the complement. Or they bought the new car 2 hours ago. This is the irregular form and irregular verb to buy. So look at it, it changes. For the negative form, we use didn't. Entonces aquí ya vamos a hacer uso de la negación. That is didn't. Que traduce simplemente no. No más me hace una conjugación al verbo. Por ejemplo, en presente sería ve, no sé, yo no, en presente es yo veo y en pasado es yo vi. Sí, no yo vi, sino yo vi. Y para decir en pasado, la negación es yo no vi. I didn't see. ¿Listo? Remember that in English we only have one conjugation of the verb, so we can't have double conjugation, right? No podemos tener doble conjugación. Y didn't, ya siendo el auxiliar, me hace la conjugación. You didn't call me last night. She didn't celebrate her last birthday. Yes. Didn't not is didn't is the contracted form of did not. That is what you have to be careful. You can use both didn't or did not. Listo. Aquí no es necesario, como no es necesario hacer ninguna conjugación, el verbo queda en forma base. Mire, didn't call and didn't celebrate. No hay ni ed ni conjugación para verbos irregulares ni nada, ni ese si es tercera persona, porque ya con didn't estamos haciendo la conjugación. So the interrogative form, we are going to use the auxiliary did, that it implies to be the verb and the simple past. So we move the auxiliary to the beginning of the sentence and that's it. We continue with the action verb in the regular base, in the base form of the verb. Did he travel as vacations? And remember, we always close the sentence or the question with the question mark. Only one. In English, we only use one. If we have a WH word, we use it even more to the beginning. Yes, for example, did he travel as vacation? Did he travel as vacation? Or where did he travel as vacation? Yeah, and you have the full question over there. And that's it for our topics explanation. We have already finished. Let me check in here. I'm gonna show you them. I'm gonna show you them the work that we need to develop in the course. Remember that we navigate our course using this section of models, and the video classes are recorded and saved in here, and you have the learning activities over here. So for the number 1.1, 2.1, and 3.1, these are learning activities. Estos son talleres, ¿sí? As long as they are really long, como son muy extensos, no tienen límite pues de tiempo, como que en una hora tiene que presentar, no. Em, pero si necesitan de pronto cerrar y salir, lo pueden hacer siempre y cuando no le hagan clic en entregar, no hay problema. O sea, lo pueden cerrar de la pestañita acá arriba y se van directamente a pues hacer otra cosa y vuelven mañana y ahí van a estar guardados sus avances. Con Assessment Activity son evaluaciones. Esas evaluaciones em, sí tienen límite de tiempo. Entonces son 75 minutos apenas arranquemos a presentar el examen. ¿Listo? Para que tengamos ahí en cuenta eso. No se olviden de leer, reading all the readers. Reader 1 helps you with 1.1 and 1.2. Reader 2 helps you to develop 2.1 and 2.2. And the reader 3 helps you to develop 3.1 and 3.2. All right. And remember that if you have any doubt about the course, you can let me know through the email of Canvas. And if you don't have, if you can join the WhatsApp group that I have already sent you the link through the anuncio. There you can find it. Magali, thank you so much for joining. Do you have any extra question?
No, profe, todo claro. Gracias.
Thank you so much. So we're going to stop the recording. Thank you so much for joining.